I have a lot of things to cover with you today. So we're going to start. So today, my beauties, we're going to dive into a masterclass which is dedicated to permission to thrive, how to feel worthy of living your dream life. And for those of you who doesn't know me or doesn't follow me on the social media, I would love to share with you my journey. But before we do that, I would love to know where you're tuning in from. So maybe in the chat, you can put where you are now, which country, and also maybe a few words, how you feeling right now. For many of you, it's morning. Some of you, most of you in Europe. Miriam is in Bali. But yeah, just if you feel like, share with me how you're feeling at this very moment. Laura from London, UK, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. Bucharest, Romania, Christina, amazing. Yeah, Miriam, I'm giving you my biggest, warmest hugs right now, kissing you all over. Miriam had a really tough week and lost her best friend, so she's not doing great. Jasmine, Bali, gorgeous, yay. Crystal from Estonia, yes, Crystal was in my breathwork. She's also a breath worker, and I was one of the mentors. Yeah, so awesome to have you with me. Christina, feeling soft and joyful. Wonderful. Maya, hey, beautiful. Maya from Poland. Yes, Maya is a very beautiful, dear friend and a client of mine. Welcome. All right, so let's rock and roll. Before we start, I would love all of us to take a few breaths together, feeling excited about this new community. Lucilia, so welcome. I would love to take a few deep, nourishing breaths together and fuse our energy from all over the world, this powerful, beautiful women who choose themselves and choose an expansion and growth. So let's just drop in, close your eyes and take a few deep, conscious breaths. Every breath grounding you in your body. Relaxing your nervous system. Amazing. So let's rock and roll. My journey to expanding my self-worth. So for those who don't know me super well and don't follow me yet on the social media, my self-worth journey was a challenging uphill struggle with sexual abuse, shame around it, paralyzing obsession about what other people think about me, massive people pleasing, codependency, loneliness, even when I was surrounded by a lot of people, and major not enoughness. This picture you see, black and white picture, it's me in London 10 years ago. And the next picture you see, it's me now. So the first picture is when I was 30 and now I'm 40. So that's what happened to me throughout my inner work journey. So all those struggles made me who I am today, a powerful queen. And if any of you thinking like, wow, how can she even say the queen? Like a few years ago, I would never be able to call myself a queen. So, you know, but now I am. I'm totally own it. And I hope you will too, if you're not own it already. So, and I keep creating my wildest dreams. If people follow my journey, you know that I keep recreating myself, and now I find myself in this beautiful Bali magical life, which is keep unfolding and bringing so much gifts, something I could never even imagine is possible. Yeah, these very struggles also become a catalyst for a change, which fuel my passion. and become my personal reason why to do what I do, which is helping other women to rise and to change their life. Over this path of my last 10 years, my healing path, I have tried countless healing modalities, including codependency meeting, sex and love addiction and avoidance meeting, Kundalini activation process, 6 powerful medicine journeys, endless retreat, including Byron Katie, Tony Robbins seminars, Vipassana, priestess school here in Bali, Easter training around sexuality, endless breathwork sessions and retreats, 3 yoga teachers trainings, and I am mega excited to share with you my finest discovery, which transformed my life. There will be also a bonus for those who will manage to stay till the end. I'm hoping it's going to be 90 minutes if we don't overrun. But if you hold on with me, there will be a little bonus for you to receive self-love ebook, which I created not long ago. So my goals for this masterclass to share with you 3 main secrets. Secret number 1, how to go from feeling not good enough to stepping into your full power. So let me just admit a few people in. Amazing, more people joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to cover secret number 2, the key to stop other people of taking advantage of our kindness. Clearly, we'll be talking about boundaries here. And the secret number 3, how to remove the fear of failure, which can be so paralyzing and stopping us from diving into our dreams. So after this class, you will have a clear understanding. Celine is joining us. You will have a clear understanding why self-worth is the key element to stepping into your full power, creating the life of your wildest dreams. You will know the reason why behind self-worth. So what is it stopping us to embody and how to expand it, regardless what has happened, regardless of which traumas you endured during your upbringing. We will also cover healthy boundaries, how to set them, and how to overcome fear of failure. So let's start. Secret number 1, how to go from feeling not enough, not good enough, to feeling radiant, powerful queen and being fully in your power and creating your dreams. Did you know, a bit of statistics here, that study found that the men overestimate their ability and performance, while women underestimate both. In fact, their actual performance is not any different from the performance of the man. However, they already automatically disqualifying themselves and questioning themselves, even though they have the equal abilities and capacities. Women frequently express that they don't feel they deserve their job and are imposters who could be found out at any minute. They found that women worry about being disliked, appear unattractive, outshining others, ladies who familiar with that, fear of outshining others, or grabbing too much attention. So it's better I keep myself small so I don't become too big. So if you resonate with any of that, no, this is not your fault. If you struggle to put yourself first, draw healthy boundaries, and struggling to overcome the fear of failure and didn't manage it, this is not your fault. What we're going to learn today is what is the behind those very struggles. What has held you back is the limiting belief deep down in your subconscious that you are not good enough. So let's just quickly cover the differences between self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. They're all deeply intertwined, but if you ask me, I feel behind that there is a self-worth, which is attached to all self-esteem, self-respect, self-appreciation, self-confidence, all of the selves. So self-esteem, what is it? It is what we think, feel, and believe about ourselves. Self-confidence is the degree to which we trust in our abilities to deal with challenges, you know, the shit shows of life. Do we get paralyzed thinking about it, or we know that we got it and we're gonna get through it? Solve problems and engage successfully with the world. And self-worth, it's the quality of being good enough and deserving attention and respect. It is the recognition that you are a valuable human being who is worthy of love and belonging. So this concept combined together determines the degree to which you feel lovable, valuable, worthy, and confident in your ability. If you feel it, I would love to hear from you just a few words. What are your current relationship with the self-worth, and where do you derive it from? I used to derive my self-worth from my diamond job, being a diamond girl. I used to derive my sense of worth of being a party girl. That was my mask, that was my identity. So I would really love you to drop into your vulnerability. And if you're really honest, tell me what you're deriving your sense of worth. Some of us deriving it from their families, from their partners, from a reputation, from the property or the house or the clothes we're wearing. And I used to be one of them. I used to be a fashionista and addict. So I used to derive massively my sense of worth from my Valentino suits and Alexander McQueen jacket and all these things. So let me know, what is it for you? Okay, so let's see. If you don't feel like sharing, it's okay. It's more a reflection for yourself. Just make sure you're absolutely honest. All right, let me continue. So how do we know our self-worth? It is when, regardless of what happens outside of us, what we have achieved or not achieved, what other people, how they perceive us and what they think about our appearance, behavior, about our perceived failures, or how far you are right now from your goals, deep down, you know that you are worthy of love and belonging, and that you are enough as you are, in your pajamas, without any makeup, maybe not having a job, maybe not having a partner, and maybe not loving your body, and still in that state of lowness, feeling low, not in your power, you still feel that regardless of all this external, you feel good enough. So low self-worth, compromise what you're willing to do for yourself. And that is a big one. Hear me out here. Having low self-worth prevents us from believing in ourselves, from claiming what is ours, and keep us hostage in a place of not good enough. As the result, sabotaging any attempts of practicing self-love and creating the life of our dreams. So it's compromising what we're willing to do for ourselves. I think this is a really important sentence here. So how lack of self-worth express? There are two main messages we receive. I am not enough, and who do you think you are? Who have heard these messages in your voice? If you resonate with me, you can just like do that. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. So how lack of self-worth expressed? It is revealing itself when we say and believe in the following statements, which are limiting beliefs. I feel useless, I'm not enough, I don't have enough. I don't deserve it. I'm a people pleaser. I am not good enough. I am abandoning myself. I can't set healthy boundaries. I'm not living my full potential. I'm struggling to step into my power. I have to work really hard to deserve love. I can't stop negative self-doubt and negative self-talk. I struggle to believe in myself, and I struggle to receive love. Who can resonate with that? I'm trying too hard. Thank you. I'm trying too hard to make others to like me. Oof, I feel chills in my body because most of the sentences were true to me, like a religious truth, which I believed in for so many years. What else? Less obvious, the sneaky limiting beliefs. I judge and blame myself. My life is not in sync. I'm not living my full potential. I'm not satisfied with most areas of my life. I have a limited mindset, scarcity mindset. I am lonely even when I'm surrounded by people. I'm codependent. I am not a leader, ladies. This one hits hard home, isn't it? I am not a leader. Who tells yourself this type of stories? Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. You are all leaders in your own way. It's just the perception we have what leadership really means, but we are the leaders of our life. So that's a complete bullshit story. I am overweight. So in exploration, I want you to close your eyes just for a few minutes. Connect with your breath, deepen your breath, and take a few moments to tune in to an internal questions. How does it feel when you experience low self-worth? Like all these limiting beliefs, limiting stories, which I was just listing and you were listening, and some of them were really resonating in your body as a charge. So think about those which resonated with you the most. And just like allow yourself to breathe into this bullshit story and feel it in your body. How does it feel actually in your body when you think you're not a leader, you're not good enough, you cannot step into your power, and so on and so forth. I just really want you to connect with the energy in your body. I can't do this, I can't do boundaries, I cannot live my full potentials. I'm just no good, you know, I'm pleasing people, I don't deserve great things. Who am I? I'm not enough. I just really want you to observe the sensation in your body. How debilitating are those sensations? So every time we actually unconsciously connecting to these stories, this is the energy we spread in our body. So we're actually poisoning our body through allowing this type of thoughts to keep coming up. It's okay that they're there. It's not our fault, but it's our job to become aware and start pulling this weed out of the ground. So yeah, it was just a little awareness exercise to see what is potential power of this negative beliefs in our physical body, not even to mention our emotions. So let's rock and roll. How self-worth express in your life? It expresses it's a sense of a feeling of being whole, feeling of being fulfilled, feeling of being powerful, complete, confident, grounded, fit, healthy, best version of yourself, whatever it means for you. But you know that you have come to the point where you can say, you know what, I am the best I ever been, which right now I have to tell you that's how I feel. And fully, and I deserve myself, I deserve my life which I created. And I am myself, this is another good one. I am myself with whoever I am interacting. So it doesn't matter if it's a big boss or my childhood friend, I'm just allow myself to be who I am, to be authentic, to be honest, to say what I think, to own my truths and don't question my truths. So that is how healthy self-worth expressed in our life. It is when you believe in yourself and care about yourself greatly. You are your own priority. You're not scared of failure or success. This is a big one as well. You know, when we think logically, of course, I'm not scared of success, but I have so many clients who actually it gets revealed after deep work that actually there is a deep down fear of being powerful, of being successful. So it's a very interesting one to ponder. So when we embody, when we expand our self-worth, we are not scared. These feelings still might come up, but they will not block us to move into our direction, into our vision, into our purpose. Okay. You know that you deserve great things. You don't even question that. You go to the shop and you know that you deserve expensive dress, even if it's much more than you can afford. You say, fuck it. You know, I deserve it. I'm completely in love with this dress. You know, that trip you've been dreaming about, Maldives or whatever it is, Bali, maybe you've been dreaming about Bali. You know, there comes a moment where you just say like, yeah, I'm making it happen. And I don't care how much money I have, I'm just making it happen. Having self-worth is directly connected to a strong sense of self-respect and self-esteem. Why self-worth is the key to self-respect, self-love, self-appreciation, as well as foundation for a healthy boundaries and the end of people pleasing. That's a good one. When we feel home in our skin, we value our desires and needs. And so we become unavailable to engage with people who are unable to respect our needs and desires, and consequently, we are very easily able to walk away from the people who are not able to offer us love and respect. So it's just become easy. You're not like tossing and turning. If you are not treated the way you believe you want to be treated, you just very easily able to walk away after setting up your boundaries. What caused lack of self-worth? We all probably know the answer to that. Childhood, where parents or other significant people such as teachers or friends were publicly critical. Let this sink into your body. I want you to feel my words in your body, and I want you to really react. I want you to be aware of the sensation and become even more intimate to this charge. Whenever you feel the charge in your body, really observe that and maybe make a note. So when someone been publicly critical about you, as well as poor academic performance, ongoing stressful life event, breakdown of relationship, financial trouble, loss of work. This is, we're already talking more like adulthood. And despite of this event, we perceive those events are normal life. But if we dig deeper, we discover that underneath all of those events, which happening to us all the time, they consider to be normal, right? There are traces of lingering shame, which is unresolved from the childhood. Lingering shame. That's a big one. And that brings us to $1 million question, back to our secret one. How do we go from feeling not good enough to stepping into your full power? And the answer is healing shame. Who could have imagined that? Healing shame. So what is shame? Let's break it down. Did you know what promotes lack of worthiness and never having or being enough is shame? Admit. Which is shame become a part of our current culture. It is part of being human. However, it creates such a debilitating harm in all areas of our life. So shame, what is it? Shame, what is it? It is a fear. Listen, close your eyes and allow these words to really sink in. It's a fear of social disconnection, which triggers by fear of perceptions of what others think of us. Let me repeat this again. It is a fear of social disconnection, which triggers the fear of perception of what other people will think about us. It produces unworthiness and feeling never having or being enough. Social media constantly highlights what is missing in our life, that body, that career, you know, those achievements which everyone seems to have, but not us, and intensify our longing to reach a perceived level of success. In our current never enough culture, we constantly feel we are not or have enough. We are not good enough or we don't have enough. Behind is the feeling of shame, is a fear of self-exposure, an underlying belief that we are not worthy deep down, that we are not worthy of love, connection, and belonging. And we can wear designer clothes, we can drive a big car, and we can appear to be super confident and look like we feel worthy because we get those things for ourselves. But this is not the barrier we measure the worthiness. This is all superficial. It's all on a deeper subconscious level. So what is the difference between shame and guilt? Lots of people confuse the two together. So let's just clarify that. When we feel in shame, it is I am not good enough. When we feel in guilt, it is when my actions are not good enough. So shame about yourself, this self, and guilt is about your action, feeling that your actions, you know, you're not too smart, you're not doing too well at school, you cannot master these bloody boundaries for all these years, you know, it's what we are doing is not good enough. So how to heal and process shame? Now we are talking. The antidote to shame is vulnerability, my beauties. And shame can only exist in secrecy. So when we reveal it, when we shed some light into shame, we allow ourselves to feel this challenging and uncomfortable emotion for it to be healed and released. This is why it's so beautiful to relieve. I'm sure all of you experience where you say like your darkest secret to someone you know, your best friend or someone you never met before. And like, what a feeling of, I'm not alone in this dark prison anymore, going crazy. And so what is vulnerability? If vulnerability is the remedy to shame, let's break it down. It is emotional risk, exposure, uncertainty. To be vulnerable is to be seen in your honesty and in your authenticity. Courage, innovation, creativity, and change do not exist without vulnerability. Let me repeat this again. Courage, innovation, creativity, and change, all these four things need vulnerability. So What are the other powerful ways to heal shame apart from vulnerability? Rewiring subconscious patterns through hypnosis and affirmation meditation. So basically the work with your subconscious mind, where these deep experiences of childhood shame left a big imprint in your computer, and just go there and feel the shame, and through accessing it, bring in more light and resolving it, or sharing your darkest moment with someone who you trust. Inner child work through meditation, breath work, and therapy, which called the bridge. Some of my clients experienced the bridge, and basically it's an inquiry which you do together with the breath, and you're going down into this deep, dense emotions within your body, and you try to establish at what age this experience happened, and you try to give your inner child what was not given to you when you were little, and say what was not said, and give this reassurance, give this security. So my personal story, I've been healing my own shame from sexual abuse throughout so many years, and trying so many different modalities to release the deep sense of shame and guilt, but mainly shame about like who I am as the human being, feeling like damaged. But what really made the huge, massive difference in my healing is vulnerability. Is when I publicly shared first time 2 years ago about my sexual abuse, and I recently shared about it again. And every time I share it and make it public, like this feeling of shame comes back, and I feel like, oh my God, now everyone knows, and probably everyone is judging, and maybe this person crossing the road, and I create my story. But actually what is really happening, that old shame, which was already within me, is coming to the surface from these dark chambers, coming to the light, so I can feel it, breathe through it, and release it. And every time I did that 2 times, I feel emotionally free. My friends check on me and say, are you okay? Oh my God, you just talked about sexual abuse. I'm like, I have never feel more free in my life, because that charge which I've been feeling in my body, it's dissolved through this vulnerability, through the sharing, through bringing the light into the dark corners of our being. Yeah. So what happens when we heal shame? You are no longer scared to be a failure, because probably originally you were criticized, but then healing the shame is no longer stopping you to create. Remember, innovation, creativity. So you're no longer too scared to fail, to be criticized, to express your truth, which is really going to be handy when we set in those boundaries, to be misunderstood. If you're misunderstood, then you understand that it's someone else's perception, because you are so aligned with your truth. You no longer question your truth, because it's in your sensation, in your feelings. I used to question my truth all the time. How do I know that it's really true? When you healed shame, you're no longer busy with that. You're no longer scared to be rejected or abandoned, because you have yourself, you deepen connection with yourself, you have your own back. You're not scared not being able to do things in the right way, because you know that perfection doesn't exist, and you're doing your very best. So why should you be scared to do it in the right way? It's going to be the best you can, and not receiving support when you need it, because you know that you can support yourself. You're able to set healthy boundaries, feel comfortable in your own skin, own all of who you are, including your shadows, including the parts which you do not love. You just know that they're there and you make peace with them. You step into your power and you start creating your wildest dreams. Because you don't have anymore this weight which holding you down. You're no longer in your own prison, in the darkness, not even realizing you are in prison. 3 things you can do when experiencing shame. This is a practical tools for you to take away. Name it, acknowledge it, and establish the trigger. I'm going to give you an example later on, but just receive that now. Name it. Name, like, oh my God, I feel this charge in my body. I think I'm feeling shame. And I think I got triggered by that person, blah, 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 blah. So naming it, establishing it. Reality check. Is that true? Oh my God, I feel stupid. I'm stupid because I did this. I'm stupid. Is that true that I'm stupid? No, it's not true. So why I'm telling myself I'm stupid? Okay, hold on a minute. What is going on internally? Reach out to someone you trust and share your story. You're like, hey, babe, you know, you're not going to believe I was preparing this presentation and the very second I deleted the whole file before my presentation. I feel so stupid. And your friend will hold space for you. Talk to you. And this is a really important one. Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love. So when you're going through this triggering moment internally, when your whole body contracted, it's not helping you perpetuating the situation by calling yourself stupid. Be like, okay, like, how do I talk to my best friend? Like, I talk, hey, like, if your best friend going through this internal meltdown, how would you talk to your best friend? You're going to be like, babe, it's okay. You're amazing. You're wonderful. You got this. I love you. It's just a story. It's past, whatever you're going to say to reassure. So embody that and be like, okay, I just want to like condemn the hell out of myself. And this is what I normally do, but take a little moment and be like, okay, how can I reverse that? How can I bring more kindness? And how can I talk to myself like I talk to someone I really deeply love? Shame needs 3 things to survive. We're nearly there, guys. Well done for holding your concentration. Shame needs 3 things to survive. Secrecy. This is why vulnerability is the ultimate key. Silence. Again, when we don't speak up, secrecy is growing. When we speak it out, it's no longer silent. It's out of the dark room. And judgment. So be careful with your own judgment when the shame comes up. Shame cannot survive when being spoken and when met with empathy. Empathy. So to sum it up, the key to feeling not good enough and to step into your full power is healing shame through vulnerability, through empathy, through doing subconscious work like hypnosis, and through doing inner child work. Big topic here. Here I included a few testimonials of my clients who did some work. And just if you have a moment, a desire, you can have a little look. Anastasia, she's actually a sister, my sister. She did my retreat and that's her testimonial. I used to think I'm not good enough. I now know and feel good enough, believe in myself, feel happy, and finally start getting paid for what I do. I realize I can do anything and that vulnerability is my ultimate power. Becky, I realized I was blaming others for what was my responsibility. I'm finally able to forgive myself, release a lot of sadness and shame. I feel calmer, happier, capable of much more than I ever dreamed. So yeah, it's really powerful. Secret number 2, the key to stop others from taking advantage of your kindness. Let me take a breath as we move into the secret number 2. So step number 1, Reserve your kindness for those who really need it, appreciate it, and reciprocate it. By who really need it, I mean homeless people, disabled people. So I'm not asking you to withdraw your kindness completely, still offer it, but at the same time observe, is it appreciated and is it reciprocated, or is it just taken for granted? Number 2, expand your self-worth through healing shame and consistently increase your self-value. Number 3, learn to set healthy boundaries, and we will be diving deeper into number 3. Number 4, actively practice kindness, but towards yourself. It's like, oh, I'm feeling really tired. I have so much work. I don't know where to start, and my body really needs a massage. I've been preparing for this masterclass for a really long time, and my body really needed massage, and I had massage. Even though I had billions of things to do, I said, fuck it, I need it. So kindness towards yourself. Number 5, remember that you are the only person who have the power to say no. No one else can say no for you. And number 6, accept your imperfections and shortcomings instead of shaming yourself, practicing more self-empathy. If you see things you don't love, you're like, okay, this maybe was not my coolest move, but you know, no one is perfect, and I am not perfect, and no one is, so that's okay. I'm doing my best. I'm going to try to do better next time. The key to stop others from taking advantage of your kindness. No, as I just said, no one is perfect, including you, me, and everyone. Remind yourself you're doing the best you can. This is a good one. In every moment, and that is enough. Maya, she was in my first I'm Love container. We did this thing where we would write the thing which we don't believe about ourselves and made it into our mantra. And then we write this with lipstick on a mirror. So every time you go brush your teeth or put makeup or whatever you need, you have this mantra in your face. And we also took a picture of it and make it a screenshot in your phone. So what you can do as your new mantra is, I am doing the best I can in every moment, and that is enough. So when you start judging yourself, I'm not doing enough, just go back and like allow your body to exhale that pressure you put yourself through. The key to stop others from taking advantage of your kindness is, of course, the 6 steps are super, super important, and they all support each other. But obviously, the fundamental one is setting healthy boundaries so that we feel truly seen, acknowledged, and appreciated. So let's break it down, boundaries, my beauty. Boundaries are rules of engagement and connection. It's the rules of how I want and expect people to treat me. So what boundaries are not? They are not the barriers, they are not the walls which prevent us to feel connection. They are not what limiting our connections. They are not creating separation or isolation. This is all myth. Actually, boundaries, when respected, they create deep bonding, deep intimacy. Boundaries are obviously will be different depending on who you're interacting with and depend on the subject to change from one person to another. Boundaries with your colleague will be very different than the boundaries with your partner because you have completely different level of intimacy. Foundation of boundaries are self-worth, self-love, and self-respect, which very much come from the self-worth. As boundaries are the quickest way to convey the level of internal connection. Let me repeat this. quickest way to express, to convey the level of your inner connection with yourself and self-appreciation. Wondering how? Just look around in your relationships and see the quality of your relationships and see how you allowing others to treat you. Important to remember is to take full responsibility for what you're feeling and experiencing, and speak from that place without pointing fingers and blame, which could be very hard when we just start in practicing conscious communication and setting the boundaries, but so fulfilling. Boundaries reinforce sovereignty. So it's no longer personal, it's not about you, it's about me exercising my human rights of having my own space, my own body, and being and decide for my own being what is best for me. So it's not personal, it's me exercising my human rights. Boundaries give us power. Why and how? When we have a weak boundaries, our vital energy is drained because people constantly overstep our boundaries and taking from us. And that leave us energetically empty. And this depletion of energy potentially can make us sick and generate spiral of negative emotion, reinforcing lack of self-worth. So healthy boundary via poor boundaries. Setting strong and healthy boundaries are an indication of joyful, fulfilling life, an ultimate expression of self-love. When on the contrary, poor boundaries not only damage the relationship because people overstep our boundaries and then we become resentful. And then we maybe don't even know how to say it. So we just block them. Who did that in your past experience? I definitely used to do that a lot. So poor boundaries damage relationship because we're not speaking our truth and the other person cannot even fix it. And we become resentful and we push it away. And also create issues within yourself, poor boundaries, right? With your low self-esteem, creates a low self-respect because deep down you're like, what the hell? I can't even express my truth. That person completely used me, used my time, and I can't even say a word. So we'll like start condemning ourselves, you know, perpetuating lack of self-respect, feeling powerlessness, and that can even create physical disease in our body because we have all this emotional and energetic negative charge, and that will have consequences in our physical body as well. So how to prepare yourself to set healthy boundaries? Like, where do you start if you don't have this habit? Like I didn't have for years and years and years, and been like little pushovers here and there, and deep down filled with anger and rage. So start journaling and start noticing what caused you to feel shitty, what caused you to feel hurt, what caused you to feel used or disrespected. Was it the words or the action or lack of words or lack of action? What made you feel unappreciated? What made you feel uncomfortable in your physical, emotional, energetic, and mental levels? So we're looking at all impact on all the levels and start noticing. Maybe journal about it and write down your boundaries, a concept of boundaries. A lot of us will only find out our boundaries were crossed when they are crossed. We didn't know before that that was our boundary, which is okay, which is completely okay. So write down, like in a perfect world, how would you love your partner, your family, your social connection, your colleagues? How would you like to be treated by different groups of people? And just write it down so you already have it in your field. So whenever it's time to speak it out, at least you have some kind of concept already. So here I'm going to share with you amazing tools for setting healthy boundaries. And some of them are going to be unexpected, like this one, for example, practicing embodiment methods, practices. So really doing embodiment work. What does that mean, embodiment work? Doing yoga, dance, meditation, breath work, self-pleasure, if you have a partner, sacred lovemaking, taking long bath, connection to your body. Why? So you are tuned to the guidance of your body and able to recognize through the sensations when your boundary is being violated, as your body giving you incredible signals through sensation, through emotions, through thoughts. So in order to receive those signals, we need to be connected to the plug, to the source. And that is why I invite you to bring more embodiment practices in your life. And for some of you, it's winter and it's tough. Some of you facing lockdown, but you always have self-pleasure, my beauties. You always can dance. You always can breathe. You always can meditate. So no excuses. Pick your favorite one and just really schedule it religiously in your day without thinking twice. That's going to really help you to connect to your body. And as the result, become crystal clear when it's a fact now in your body, so that you're able to communicate that and not doubt yourself. Amazing tools. We continue. Another tool is conscious communication. And that is a path. What does that mean? It is an ability to clearly and compassionately communicate with others as well as with yourself. Boom. It is the ability to think wisely, have a bigger perspective, just zoom out from the victimhood and poor me and who did that, and just try to see a broader picture and try not to assume and try to have open conversation. I'm going to give you an example below. So it's the ability to think wisely and stop this non-stop chatter, our programming, our conditioning, our projection, which goes in our mind, and just filter it and just see what comes out from our mouths and just be a little bit more aware and open within this conversation. And another one is really good one. Nonviolent communication, NVC. I really invite you to look it up. It's awesome. It's been created by Marshall Rosenberg in the beginning of 60s and 90s. There are tons of videos in YouTube, and if you want to dive into self-study, this is epic material. So basically, it's also called compassionate communication or collaborative communication, which inviting more opinion than just your own, as an approach to communication based on principles of nonviolence. It's focused on effective strategies, win-win, seeing everyone's point of view for meeting fundamental needs for all parties in a conversation. So it's not just like me and I want to just deliver my truth and I don't give a shit about anything. I'm saying my truth feels like that. How does your truth feels to you? And knowing that, then start creating the stories, what this person did or did not do. Example here. I noticed the shift in my energy, or I noticed, and this is why the embodiment practices is so important. I noticed the shift in my energy, closing of my heart, a heavy feeling in my stomach when you laughed at my singing. You might not even realize that. Most likely it was not on purpose. However, it didn't make me feel good. It made me remember when I was 5 and my teacher shamed me publicly for not getting the tone right. I would appreciate if you don't do that again. Let's laugh together, but not at the expense of each other. This is an example of how nonviolent communication can be. Very considerate, very loving, very compassionate, and yet you're still expressing your truth and you're still able to set your boundaries. So, importance of conscious nonviolent communication and boundaries. In the example above, you can clearly see how, through using conscious nonviolent communication, we create a space of a dialogue which enables us to speak our truth within a safety container from the place of compassionate, non-assuming experience, not from the place of blame, conditioning, projections. You made me feel this, but I felt this when you said this, which will, because if we go into this blaming, conditioning, projecting, it just create the conflict and disconnection in relationship. And we all strive for connection. So that's why this is an awesome tool. Importance of embodiment practices and boundaries. Again, in that same example with the laughing and singing teacher, through embodiment practices which create connection to the body and the feeling, it enables us to speak our truth from embodied experience. So it's not just like, is it my story? Is it my ego? Is it, who is that in my head? But actually it's this space in my body and I feel these sensations. And when we speak from embodied experience, you know, I felt the tightness in my energy. I felt my heart closing down. I felt the dark pit in my stomach. This in return give us less reasons to question our own truth. Who used to question your own truth? Definitely me. So when we start becoming attuned to our body, it's just becoming a fuck yes information. It's just what is happening and we're not questioning that. So, practical guide on how to set healthy boundaries. Communicate your boundaries in a clear way, expressing what is not working for you and suggesting way forward, which is paramount for continuing relationship. I have made so many mistakes where I communicate my boundaries and I said, this was not okay, this was not right, you didn't do this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But instead, I could have said, okay, that happened, but actually what I really needed from you that moment is hug. What I really needed you to actually give me a call and don't send me this silly message. What I really need you, so I don't let people know what I actually needed. And so people get triggered because there is nothing to come back with, and that creates disconnection. So always express suggesting way forward. So that didn't work super great, but what could work in the future is this, if you want to continue a relationship, healthy relationship with this person. So number 2, eliminate certain people from your life. And that's a tough one, guys. That's a super tough. Even if it's a family members, even tougher, right? If your boundaries keep being violated after you clearly communicated them, you honestly don't really have a choice, but have a little pause if you want to have sanity within your own being. So cultivate around yourself a circle of people who are nourishing for your soul, supportive, and replace any toxicity in your life with self-love. So if some connection is just keep bringing you pain, just take a little pause from it and just hang out with people who nourish your soul and make your heart sing. Remember, saying no is a complete answer. It doesn't need actually anything after that. You can, but it is complete on its own. Can you come to my gig tomorrow? No, I'm busy. Have fun. I hope it goes well. You know what I mean? We don't need to like explain why we cannot do it. If we want, we can, but we don't have to. No is a complete answer. So practical guide on how to set healthy boundaries. The third part is establishing more independence in your life, including financial. Really finding what sets your heart on fire, pouring your everything you got and start this business, start that project, start this idea, and just see where it takes. Trust and start creating this financial independence, so you don't have to be told by anyone what to do and when to do and how to do it. Become comfortable with uncomfortable situations. The more you do that, the more you strengthen your, number one, authenticity. Number two, you expand your vulnerability, and consequently also healing residues of shame, which in return also strengthen your courage to go for what you want in life. As vulnerability, and this is really one of my favorite parts. Like I just really love it so much to share this knowledge that vulnerability and courage, they pretty much almost a synonym. Who could have imagined such a different qualities? But vulnerability do not exist without courage, and courage doesn't exist without vulnerability. So if you're working on your vulnerability, you're automatically working on your courage. If you're expanding your vulnerability, you're expanding your courage. So consider vulnerability and authenticity as the muscle. The more you practice strengthening your muscle, the stronger it gets. And in the case of the boundaries, the more you practice in setting boundaries, the easier it gets. And don't forget, when you're setting the boundaries, don't forget to breathe, to deepen your breath. Why? And just like really have a conscious breath while you're setting up the boundaries, especially if it's super challenging and uncomfortable for you. Why? Because the breath helps us to calm the nervous system. It helps you to deepen your connection so you can stay within your truth, not the story of your mind. Oh my God, if I say that, is he going to abandon me? Is he going to judge me? You know, we don't want to be in that stories. We want to be connected to the body. And as the result, you will be connected to your truth. So remember to breathe while you having uncomfortable, challenging conversation. Is there any alternative to expressing your boundaries? Yes. You don't always have to break it down and verbalize your boundaries if it's super hard for you. Although I encourage you to start practicing. You can start by simply declining the invitation, which doesn't feel good to you, and modify the other's expectations. Let me give you an example. Sadly, I am unable to coach you for free today. However, I could potentially find time for you next week and see you properly as a client for a proper session and offer you a special friends and family rate. And if you need, I can even offer you 30 minutes for free. So this is an example of how we can set the boundaries with alignment to our own truth. You can still be kind, but same time you're firm and assertive when you communicate in your capacity to engage and interact, which is your birthright. It's your human right. So you're not doing anything extraordinary. You're just exercising your right. Okay, so let's keep going. How to set, okay, here it is. Become crystal clear what you are available. And this is such a good word. I'm using it a lot. I'm available for this, and no, I'm not available for this. And journal about it. When you write these boundaries to different groups, social groups, try to use this word. I'm available, I'm not available, and try to start embodying this word, because that's also bring more queen energy, you know, more sovereignty in your being, in your energetic field. I'm not available for this, I'm available for this. Journal about it and start verbalizing it. Let me give you an example. For a single ladies, that could be a good one. Thank you for your offer. And no, I am not available for one night stand, but I would consider you for a lovership where we can deepen our intimacy over time and see where it takes us. So you're not just saying like, no, I'm not going to sleep with you. You say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not available for that, but I am available for something else. So always try to use these two words, because when we just go with I'm not available, it's obviously, you know, creating a bit of a energetic boundary. So when we come straight away with what we're available for, then it's kind of softened that energetic wall. All right, so just to sum up, second secret, to remove the fear of failure and become fully confident in your own skill, we must heal shame, strengthen courage through embodying our vulnerability. We build healthy boundaries through conscious and non-violent communication, through embodiment practices, as well as through eliminating toxic people from our life, communicating our boundaries in a clear way, and establishing more independence for ourselves, including financial. All right, here I added a few testimonials from my clients who did a great job on the boundaries, who realized they had the issue with the boundaries, and realized, like Ksenia here, she realized she had a huge boundary issue which were destroying it. But the crazy thing, she never even realized that she had a boundary issue until she started learning about boundaries. Isn't it crazy? And here Celine, yeah, she's sharing that with the work we done together, the most impactful for her was the boundaries, vulnerability, self-esteem, and inner child. Yeah. So ladies, we're ready to rock and roll. And the last powerful secret I'm ready to reveal here with you is how to remove the fear of failure and become confident in your body. We know what we need to do to become fully confident in your own skin. It is to embody self-worth through healing shame, vulnerability, and all that. But how do we actually remove the fear of failure? To start with, we need to remind ourselves that mastery takes time. And that's why we need to be consistent in our practices, keep showing up for our dreams, for our goals. And in order to be successful, we need to prepare to fail. Gosh, how many times I failed and majorly fucked up in my life, and still do. And that's okay. But also that is the pathway to success, this countless failure, whatever we perceive as failure. Where does fear of failure comes from? When we think about ourselves when we were babies, we were not born with fear of failure. Think babies, they're crawling on the floor, they're like crawling everywhere, they want to walk, they're grabbing things. They don't have a fear. They don't have a fear like, oh my God, what if I will not be able to walk? This idea doesn't even cross their mind. They just crawling and grabbing things and doing everything to get up and walk, right? So if we were not born with it, where the hell did it come from? Fear of failure, we develop it while growing up. And hold on here, this is where the gold is. When we were criticized and guess what? Shamed. So we develop the fear of failure while growing up because we were criticized and we were ashamed. We are back to the square one. That's right, shame again. Shame is the reason why we stop trying new things. Because we've been criticized and we don't want to be criticized. So we rather not try. And out of fear to be ashamed and criticized, we don't go for our dreams. And as the result, we just stick around what we are good at. And yeah, what we're good at as innovation, as creativity becomes a vulnerable matter. To be innovative, to try something new, suddenly it feels really vulnerable. Oh God, what if I fail? What if other thinks I'm shit in this? What if I'm going to be criticized? And yeah, and so innovation become a vulnerable matter, and together with your courage. So if you're not practicing vulnerability, then your courage is also becoming dormant, and it's very hard to execute. So avoiding, this is a good one. Avoiding failure severely limits us and robs us from the opportunity to realize our highest potential. Boom. This is a big one. I have to repeat it again. Avoiding failure severely limits us and robs us from the opportunity to realize our highest potential. It's upsetting, isn't it? To become great at anything, you need to be willing to fail again and again and again. So if success demands failure, if failure is an essential part of the success, how do we actually overcome the fear of failure? Step number one, healing shame. We know how to do it. Step number two, developing courage through vulnerability. So the more we become vulnerable, the more we become real, the more we share our darkest secret, the more we allow to show our emotions, the more we allow ourselves to lose shit in the middle of crowded place and just be real, if that is what happening to you, the more we embody our courage and able to go for our dreams. So success demands failure. Okay, yes, we covered that. So on top of healing shame and developing courage through vulnerability, there is also another part, which is being able to distinguish between internal factors and external factors. So let's dive deeper. What is internal factors? Internal factors is the factors that we can control. It's our character, our values, our behaviors. External factors, you know, freaking COVID, earthquake, the past, nature, you know, thoughts and behaviors of others, we have zero control. So whenever you start perceiving something, drop into a deeper inquiry and be like, okay, is it internal or is it external? And ask yourself a question. Can I change it? This is so simple, and yet it's so powerful. Whenever you're going through a shit storm in your life, can I change it? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, go for it and change it. Try your best, do everything in your power to change it. If the answer is no, you have no choice but let it go. Of course, you can hold on for it for a dear life, but you can't change it, so you're just wasting your time. The choice is yours, and sometimes it's a really tough one. We can try to practice letting go of external factors, as it's a waste of time to worry about things we cannot control, and change So instead, we can bring the focus into internal factors, which we have the capacity to impact. So this is smart, isn't it? Diverting our mindset from outside to inward. If the trigger is internal, start discerning, start taking action towards shifting it into more empowered state, either through doing inner work, either doing it by yourself, or getting yourself support, a mentor, a group, a coach. So my personal relationship with fear of failure. Below are my personal go-to in order to move through fear of failure. So when I used to live in London, I already traveled and realized that this matrix life is not for me and I need to get out. So, but I was earning good money. I was working in selling diamonds, and I have such a comfort zone that it was so hard to leave and to go where would I go? But I really wanted that change. So every time I would sit in a meditation, I would ask universe a courage to follow my dreams. So I still feel it's a very powerful tool. So I put it here. Prayers to universe to support me in following my dreams. Getting external support in the form of course or mentors or amazing friends who can support you and who have walked that path to hold your hand throughout this journey. Mastering courage through mastering vulnerability, becoming vulnerable, sharing your stories, your proudest moment and the not so proudest moment to someone you trust. Trust in your path and divine guidance. Just know that whatever is happening, it's happening for you to grow, to expand. So don't forget, whenever you feel that universe is forgotten you, just go back into the trusting that you're exactly where you need to be in your evolution. Jumping into unknown. Whenever you feel this fuck yes, this internal pull, and you don't fully understand why, but you feel you need to do it, and it doesn't even make sense, do it. Trust it. Jump into unknown. Because what happens when you jump, the universe always have your back. You will always land in safety. Always, always, always. Even if you can't see how, you will. Expanding your self-worth, working on healing shame. And yeah, my personal relationship with fear of failure. I still feel it, especially when I guide larger groups. Like I've been doing a bunch of events and festivals, and sometimes I have 50 people, sometimes I have 70 people, and sometimes I have 100 people in the previous Awakened Dreamer. And of course I feel it. I feel this anticipation. I feel my heart beating. I feel it's hard for me to breathe. I feel my fear of failure. Like, oh my God, what if I forget something? What if the music stops? What if this? What? You know, the stories just keep flooding. So, you know, it still happens. And yet, you know, I still don't allow this to stop me, to block me. And what I've been noticing, especially recently in the last few months, whenever I feel what I perceive as fear and anxiety, and I get sometimes like super anxious. And then there comes like a threshold, you know, and it happens internally. It doesn't happen externally, where I remember to breathe. And I remember that anxiety is just excitement without the breath. And I'm like, what if I'm not scared? What if I'm just really excited? And this is the sensation I'm feeling. And like, wow. And what helps me is to go back why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, when I guide big sessions, I'm of service to people, you know, and that just helps me to ground into through grounding into my purpose. It also helps me to overcome this fear of failure, because it's like I'm grounded in my purpose. And when I'm grounded in my purpose, the truth is I cannot fail. That is the ultimate truth. But of course, this emotion sensation keeps coming up. So it's awesome to remind yourself like that anxiety is an excitement without the breath. So how can I breathe more breath and see if you can shift your perspective from fear and anxiety into excitement, especially if you're doing something which is lighting you up deeply from inside. So just to summarize, we're coming towards the end, so well done for your patience. To summarize, to remove the fear of failure, we need the following. 1, to be prepared to fail again and again and again, and to be prepared to fail more than people around you failing, as there is no success without failure. Strengthen your courage through strengthening your vulnerability. Strengthening your courage through embodying your vulnerability. So remember, courage, vulnerability, you know, they go hand in hand. When you work on one, you're automatically improving the other one. Learn to let go of external factors which you have no ability to control. Let it go. You cannot change anything about it. Focus on the things you can change. Distinguish, have a clear understanding what is internal and what is external, so you can differentiate what is the actual trigger and how can you deal with it. And heal shame. I cannot stress the importance of healing shame, because as we can see, it's coming through not good enough, it's coming through the boundaries, it's coming through fear of failure. It's like this silent, sneaky threat which holding us small. Okay, I added some more testimonials here from Maria, who is actually here. Maya. And yeah, just want to briefly touch upon them. I used to have the issues with lack of courage, relationship boundaries, which is now improved significantly after working together. I choose Ksenia because she's my #1 worldwide coach. That's make me so smiley inside. And the most important part here is that now I feel I can go for anything I dream about. That is the game changer. That is an absolutely gift. And Victoria as well. She feels drastic shifts and deepened sense of calm and tranquility. Yeah, helps have tools which helps to navigate stressful situation. Okay, so in my last 10 years of inner exploration, remember the 2 pictures, the black and white and the color, and the gap in between is my inner exploration, which is keep happening, keep moving. And through experience of over 30 retreats, which I led in Ibiza with my business partner and by myself, and from experience of over 800 breathwork journey I have facilitated, it brought me to the point where I am now. So my pain actually became the catalyst to where I am now. And I am self-worth, sensuality, and breathwork mentor. And also a creator of I Am Love program, which is a retreat, powerful retreat for women. It's actually an immersion, 12-week inner work container, which is a portal of initiation into a deeper sense of worthiness, into a deeper sense of intimacy and self-love. So what is I Am Love? The first edition was 8 weeks ago, and it was focusing mainly on self-love. And I guided it in April with 9 women from across the world. And I just want to acknowledge, I see Maya is here. I just want to celebrate Maya. Thank you for your trust. And I'm thrilled to announce that after taking 5 months of contemplation break, I have created a new version, which is an extended version of I Am Love, now 3 months container, and it will be primarily focusing on self-worth and healing shame. It will have more integration time, So based on the feedback of my clients, I have modified it. And I'm launching my second edition on the 6th of November. So next weekend, we're going to rock and roll. We're going to start. So who is it for, this program? It's for women like you who are empathic and sensitive and gentle, through women who are healing codependency, who experiencing loneliness, through finding themselves repeating the same pattern, who are ready to move from not enough into the full power. It's for the women who are scared to take the risk and make bold decisions without any guarantees what's going to happen, where I'm going to land. So that program is amazing for you. I will be holding your hand through this transition. It's for women who are ready for change and transformation. It's for women who are sick and tired of pleasing others. It's for the women who are craving alliance, sisterhood, and support. So I am Love Immersion. Some of you might think like, yeah, it's another self-love program for which I don't have time or money. It's actually not that. It's a life-changing transformational immersion with only 4.5 hours required weekly of your commitment into self-work. I invite you to think about where you want to be and where you are now. And imagine if every week you put 4.5 hours into your own evolution, into your own expansion, into your own dreams. Imagine where you're going to be in 3 months. So yeah, 4.5 hours of total commitment, which will change you inside out. All courses, materials accessible whenever you have time, apart from mentorship calls once a week, but the rest you can access information whenever you have time and a headspace. And I also offer in a payment plan. So what is included in this program? 12 in-depth modules, courses, course curriculum with 12 group mentorship calls. They've been valued at this price. Women's circles, 2.5 hour group calls. So you feel you're not alone, and you develop connections, and you develop such a powerful sistership and sisterhood and support all over the world. Yoga classes, 8 powerful, nourishing inner journeys to empower your self-love practices. And of course, transformational breath work. And I think this is one of the key elements why my program is so different from any other program, because it has this embodiment, deep embodiment of breath work. So where we solidify our shifts and transformations, the new belief, rewiring in our cellular and subconscious level. So we're going to have four 2.5 hour session breathworks, which allow you to let go of your physical, emotion, wounding, traumas in your body that you might be holding. You will also receive support from me. You will have 12 one-on-one mentorship weekly calls, meditations, 8 recordings based on the theme we're exploring, which can support your journey. So also what is included, I have built an amazing library of inspiring talks, like everything which made me go, wow, I put it there. I didn't hold back anything. So you have some awesome speakers, meditations of other teachers, amazing. One of my favorite meditation teachers are there. Different music, so you can access for the embodiment, for the dance, a library with incredible books, which absolutely transformed my life. I'm also including a group hypnosis session because I deeply believe that it is a very powerful tool to heal shame. So I'm also offering 90 minutes a group session with an incredible facilitator who is coming on board. And also we will have accountability WhatsApp group to keep us motivated and to keep us practicing vulnerability, so we can go deeper into those layers which are still holding us hostage in some ways or another. And you will have a live access to the group course material, which you can always go back and listen again. So I believe, maybe someone will argue with that, but I deeply believe that there is no other program like that, where each module followed up with the breath work to ensure change is not only happening on a mental level, but also on a physical, emotional, and subconscious level. I have discovered most coaching programs only offer 90 minutes group calls. I'm offering 2.5 hours weekly. So you get in an hour more. And on top of that, I am offering 45 minutes one-on-one mentoring. So every week, if you need it, you have access for for 45 minutes. We can drop in, see what is alive, and just offer you the guidance and support in your own journey if you need it. So we're nearly done. I just want to briefly touch the modules we will be covering. So of course, we're gonna start with the self-worth, healing shame, vulnerability, codependency, self-esteem, negative self-talk, body image, confidence. We're going to cover self-love, self-acceptance, embodiment practices, forgiveness, self-pleasure, one of my favorites, really. I've been diving deeper and deeper into sexuality and been offering this more and more into clients and working with Yoni X and really activating the sexual energy within our wombs. And it's actually the work which really deeply activating for me. I love it. So we're going to do that. We're going to do Yoni Egg practices. We're going to have a tantric initiation. We're going to have intimate communication. And we dive into self-respect, where we will be covering boundaries, triggers, self-regulation, people-pleasing. And the last group module would be inner child work, of course. And we're going to dive into perfectionism, emotional liberation, and a bridge therapy. You know, how to actually start developing relationship with your inner child. So my program was valued at over £9,000, but today I am offering it at £2,222. And for you guys who are watching this masterclass, there is a special price of £1,999. It is valid for 24 hours. So if you're considering, jump on a call with me and talk to me. Normally, I offer payment plan for the price of 2,222, and I allow people to pay in 3 installments. But for you guys, you can, I am happy to honor the same deal for 1,999, which means you can pay it in 3 installments of 666. And the group, maximum 11 people. I have 5 spaces available. It is by application only because we already have existing group, and it's super, super important, the energy and the resonance between us. So if you're considering, jump on a call with me. Let's talk about your challenging, your struggles, and let's see if we're a good fit to work together. And as I mentioned before, it's up to 4.5 hours. Some weeks it's going to be only 2.5 hours, because one week we have a group coaching, one week we are breathing and integrating everything. Again, one week group coaching, then breath work. And so some weeks you're going to be only engaging in 2.5 hours of breath, and some weeks it's going to be a bit more, and depending if you choose to have my own guidance, which is available for you. And this includes the home play and one-on-one mentoring time already. So it's really great. Think about the commitment, 4.5 hours a week. Like, we're scrolling more on social media than that. Okay, so we're nearly there. If this resonates, trust your intuition and give it a go. And just also know that there is a 30-day unconditional money back guarantee. So if you tried it out for 30 days and you're like, no, that's not, I am not receiving impact, then I will be happy to return your money. But you need to be sure also that you're committing to the work. You know, in order to really see the long-lasting result, the transformation require commitments, and that is why it's awesome to have accountability. And for any of you, you all have a gift from me, a 45 minutes free call with me. If you want, you can jump on a call with me. This is the link below, and I am also going to post it in the chat. So copy that link from the chat and use it to book a call with me. And also each of you who are here is entitled to receive my ebook on how to deepen your self-love, even you have no time for yourself and tend to put other people's needs first. I'm very happy to gift it to you. So just reach out to me and I will send it to you all directly, whoever wants it. So here are my information, details. Feel free to take a screenshot if you want and get in touch with me. This is my WhatsApp, love_ashram. It's missing actually underscore here. My Facebook, Ksenia Goryainova. And before we leave, I want to just show you a little video, if it's gonna work. Let's see. And we're gonna really wrap up. Thank you for your patience. So this is my website, by the way. I don't know if any of you seen it. Happy to share it with you. And just really wanted to share this.
Are you longing for a deeper intimacy with yourself, expressed through deep self-love and radical self-acceptance? Are you desiring to step into your feminine power and become more authentic, confident, unashamed, and apologetic version of?
Okay, for some reason the sound doesn't come through, which is a shame, but it was a little video which you can find on my page. And here I would also love to open up for those who have some questions. I would love to open up question and answers. Feel free to type your questions in the chat. If you have to leave, if you have to rush, I completely understand. Thank you for your patience. Take a screenshot of my contact details and get in touch if you feel it. I hope you enjoyed. It's been a lot to cover, so let me know how it landed. Let me check the chat here. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I would love to answer some questions. Yeah, look, getting Dawn, welcome, by the way, Dawn. Dressed up and looking my best, my job, what I have materially, it doesn't last. Yes. Okay, so I'm guessing that's the answer, what you derive in your sense of self-worth, getting dressed and looking my best. My job. Yeah. Yeah, Dawn, you see, when we derive the sense of self from the outside sources like a job, imagine if, God forbid, they made you redundant. So then what? You have to jump from the bridge? Do you still exist without this job? Yeah, it certainly doesn't last. Celine, feeling uncertain about some choices, not committing fully, probably being scared of failing as I am too perfectionist. Yes, my sweet love. I think it would be awesome to dive deep into this like childhood situation, which like still potentially hold us hostage, and dive deeper into this perfectionism and how we can really overcome it. Can you elaborate on fear of success? Why people are afraid of that, and how does that express? How does it express? Through fear of failure. It's a subconscious fear, which basically the way it's expressed is that we're not going after our dreams. We're finding all sorts of excuses. You know, where I live, it's not too bad. My dream was always living in this beautiful island, but maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I don't have enough money. We just like constantly finding excuses why not to do it. And in terms of success, deep down, we are petrified to be powerful, to be human, to be powerful, to be successful. We look up at those people who are powerful and successful, and deep down that shame voice, remember we talked in the beginning, asking, who are you to be that? Who are you to be successful? Who are you to have a hot boyfriend? Who are you to fly all over the world? Who are you to have a hot body? So yeah, this is all going back in this residues, the grumblings of shame. I'm still here, just not my video. Yes, I feel your beauty. It was amazing, Maya, and it works. Yay, Maya did my course, and yeah, so grateful to have you here with us. This is so me, no boundaries, all trying helping others. Darling, we're all been there. All been there. Women are so much more than men because we're so empathic, and we have this like a mother instinct and trying to save everyone. Amazing time with Ksenia, thank you. Yes, I agree with Maya. The first online program with Ksenia was deep and beautiful in many ways. Jasmine, thank you for sending calendar link here from Jasmine. So if you want to copy that and get in touch and claim your call, it's yours. It's even here, the second link is actually my ebook on self-love. So feel free to copy that and use it. Thank you for your time, my queen. Thank you for your time. Katie, thank you for today. Very insightful. Pleasure, Katie. I would love your book. Okay, not sure which book I'm going to direct. Okay. Thank you so much. It was amazing. Thank you, Anna, for joining us. Lovely to see you. It's been a while we didn't connect it. Shakila, thank you, beautiful. Big love. Big love to you too. I loved it. Thank you so much. Pleasure, Jasmine. Thanks so much, Ksenia. Very, very insightful. So much love. My pleasure, Lucille. I'm great you enjoyed it. Laura, thank you. Has reinforced the work I have been doing over the past few years, feeling stronger. Aho, sister. Perfect. Makes me happy. Thank you, Ksenia. Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much for being such a beautiful human queen, sharing your knowledge and your support to this world. Thank you, Celine, for your beautiful, deep words. It's my pleasure, really pleasure. You're amazing, and your breathwork is always an eye-opening. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for answering that question. My pleasure, Ram. I would love to. What is the woman to event? I'm coming on the 8th. We're starting on the 6th, but you can still join on the 8th, no problem at all. I need to go, sorry, have a wonderful weekend. Okay. Tons of love, my beauties. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your trust. Have an amazing day. Love you all.